Alright, so in my last video, I dropped streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. And I didn't really think people would actually like take it like that seriously, but I had like some serious tone behind it. Like somebody said that was I clickbaiting or rage baiting. I was not. I was being dead ass serious. Like some of the comments were just a little bit crazy. So let me explain. Some people I can tell didn't watch the video all the way or just watched like the beginning because in the beginning I said streaming is harder than a 9 to 5 mentally, not physically. Not once in the video did I ever say working like a regular 9 to 5 where you're standing on your feet than streaming. That's not the argument that I was trying to make. Instead, I was trying to say that mentally is going to be harder than a 9 to 5, not physically. Some people took it physically when I never said that that was the case. And I never said all 9 to 5 jobs were easier than streaming. I just said a few. Well, more than a few, but a good enough amount. I believe that police work is harder than streaming, military harder than streaming, EMT like fire rescue, firefighters harder than streaming. Like that's harder than streaming. Like stuff like that is harder than streaming. But that also isn't like a regular that's not a regular job. You feel me? Like you can't compare someone who's in the military to someone who's flipping burgers at Burger King. You can't compare that to. So on my last video, one of the comments said, is not but okay. And I responded and said, answering calls at a desk is not harder than streaming. So this person replied and said, pushing carts, law enforcement, running a business, owning multiple properties or stores are physically and mentally harder than streaming. Goofy eye. And of course, I replied saying that how the fuck is pushing carts more mentally draining than streaming, dumbass boy? And I said in the video there are certain jobs that are harder than streaming, which again I did in the video say there are jobs that are harder than streaming. And I'm right. Pushing carts is not mentally draining at all. It's physically draining, but it's not mentally draining. All you're doing is pushing carts back into the store. How is that mentally draining at all? Now, running a business and owning multiple properties can be mentally draining. It can be mentally draining. Owning a business is not a 9 to 5, and pushing carts is not mentally draining. It's only physically draining. And then another comment said, mentally having a 9 to 5 is harder than streaming. Physically and mentally, it's no debate. We have no rewards. And I commented and said, writing parking tickets isn't harder than streaming. And then this person said, that's a damn part-time job. That ain't even a 9 to 5. Now, I don't know what part of the country or what part of the United States he lives in, but there's people who are full-time parking enforcers. Like parking garages for like high rises and like businesses that have parking garages connected to them. I don't know what he means by he says like part-time. Of course it can be a part-time job. Any 9 to 5 can be a part-time job. I think a lot of people misunderstood the message in the video, that being that no, it's not streaming is not harder than a 9 to 5 physically, but mentally it's more of a mental thing. Like who's to say whose job is harder than whose? Like obviously if you have a brain you would know being in the military is way harder than working a regular 9 to 5, like pushing carts, being a cashier, working at Ross, working at Home Depot or Lowe's. The one thing that the military does is break you down to build you back up, both mentally and physically. There is no 9 to 5 that's a regular 9 to 5 that is harder than a military. Because I also said you're not a big streamer. You're a small streamer coming home from a 9 to 5 to go stream. That's what I also said in the video. So you're not a big content creator. You don't have any push. You don't have any pull. You don't have anybody hired. After you get done streaming, you're the one editing and chopping up the clips and posting them on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or wherever you're posting them at. You're the one who's doing all the work behind the scenes. Another comment that I would like to point out is this guy said streaming is easier than a 9 to 5. Being a good streamer is harder than a 9 to 5. So I asked him, so what's considered being a good streamer? He said consistent schedule, consistent new ideas, constantly growing, reaching 1K average viewers, etc., etc. And I believe him, and I think that's a good take, because being a good streamer is harder than just cutting on like a stream, like whenever you have time, like doing it for fun, of course, is going to be way easier than any job because you're just doing it for fun. When you're actually taking streaming like serious, like some of these streamers are, it's going to be kind of hard coming home from a 9 to 5, having a consistent schedule, constantly having new ideas, and then constantly hitting 1,000 viewers every stream. That's hard. Now, averaging 1K viewers, 1,000 viewers on Twitch puts you in like the 0.1% of people streaming on Twitch. Like, it's pretty hard to get 1,000 viewers, let alone reach Kai numbers or somebody like Silky or Blackboy Max. The top 3 things that bring in money are businesses, politics, and entertainment. You already know businesses like Amazon, Walmart, they bring in millions by the minute and by the second. Politics, you already know politics brings in money. War brings in money. Congress gets paid for what they do. Like, they don't just do that for charity. Congress gets paid. And entertainment. Any entertainment like sports, games, YouTube, Twitch. Entertainment is probably the hardest thing to be just successful in. Like, you can buy a business and like start making money from it already. I mean, you can make money selling guns to the government, but entertainment is like kind of hard like to break into, so don't take it too serious. Like, the video wasn't meant to be taken too seriously.
You told all them OT niggas that you really slide. Tell the truth about your game, bitch, they really died.
This is a sick Negro.
Oh, you like dick? Oh, hell no. You one of them, bitch. You know what I mean? You one of them, bitch ass nigga.